Your next sum of money is already on its way to you, and it is going to come from a direction you would never expect. And tonight, Florence Scovel Shinn is going to show you how to open yourself to it, because she taught something almost nobody understands, that your good arrives in surprising ways, from unexpected places, the moment you stop trying to control how it comes. So let us begin. The premise is simple. Ephesians 3:20 says, God is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. Read that again. Exceeding abundantly, above all that you ask or think. This means your good is not limited to what you can imagine or plan. It can come in ways beyond anything you would think of. Bigger, faster, and from stranger directions than your mind could design. And Florence understood this perfectly. She taught that most people block their own good by insisting it come from one specific place, the raise, the one client, the person who owes them, and when it does not come from there, they despair. But Florence taught that the infinite has 1,000 channels, and your job is not to choose the channel, your job is to open to the surprise. She called them big happy surprises. Unexpected good, arriving under grace in ways you never saw coming. Tonight you learn to invite them. Here is the affirmation. Speak it with me. Big happy surprises now come to me under grace. My good arrives in unexpected ways. My word is my wand. Say it again, and feel the wonder of it. Big happy surprises now come to me under grace. My good arrives in unexpected ways. My word is my wand. Feel that. You are no longer straining to force your good from one place. You are opening to it, arriving from anywhere. And the moment you open, the channels multiply. Now here is the most important thing I am going to say in this entire video. If what I am teaching you tonight speaks to you, then you need to know that I have a second channel called Divine Manifestation, and it is where the journey truly opens up, where I go deeper into these teachings, the powerful practices, the exact methods, the tools that genuinely change lives. So when you finish this video, go and find my second channel, Divine Manifestation. The link is in the description and pinned right at the top of the comments. Go subscribe to Divine Manifestation, because that is where these teachings come alive. That is where your good really begins to open up. Let me tell you exactly what is waiting for you on Divine Manifestation. You will find the deep teachings on how to speak your wealth into being, how to remove the hidden blocks that have kept your money stuck, the exact decrees that have helped people manifest thousands out of nowhere, and the full step-by-step methods that this video only touches on. If what you are feeling right now is that hunger to finally understand how this really works, Divine Manifestation is where that hunger gets fed. I will see you there. Now let us continue, and let me give you the first key, which is that your good is trying to reach you from 1,000 directions at once. Because Florence taught that supply is not a single narrow pipe, it is an infinite field, and your good can come to you through countless channels. A gift, an opportunity, a stranger, an idea, a door you did not know existed. Most people fix their eyes on one single source and say, it must come from there, and by doing so, they blind themselves to the 999 other ways it could arrive. Florence taught that the infinite intelligence knows channels you have never even considered, ways of bringing your good that would never occur to your reasoning mind. So when you demand that it come from the one place you can see, you are actually limiting the infinite to your own small vision. But when you release that demand, when you say it can come from anywhere, you open every channel at once, and your good rushes toward you through the opening that is easiest, fastest, and most perfect. You do not need to know how. You only need to stay open to the surprise. And let me give you a picture that makes this real. Imagine you are expecting an important delivery, and you decide it must come to your front door. So you sit and stare at the front door all day, refusing to look anywhere else. And meanwhile, the delivery is sitting at your back door, and at your side window, and with your neighbor, but you never see it, because you decided it could only come one way. This is exactly how most people treat their supply. They stare at the one channel they expect and miss all the others. Florence taught that your good is often trying to reach you through a channel you are not even watching. The unexpected phone call, the chance conversation, the sudden idea, the person you have not spoken to in years, and the more rigidly you insist it come from your chosen source, the more you block your own eyes from seeing where it is actually arriving. So the first shift is simply to widen your gaze, to accept that your good could be coming from absolutely anywhere, and to stay alert and open to all of it. The second key is why trying to control how your money comes actually blocks it. Because this is the mistake almost everyone makes. They decide exactly how their good must arrive, and they cling to that plan, and Florence taught that this clinging is itself the block. When you fixate on one channel, you are in a state of tension and control, and that state closes you off from the infinite other possibilities. It is like standing at one door, banging on it, refusing to turn around and see that a dozen other doors have swung wide open behind you. Florence taught that you must demand the what, but release the how. You claim your good, your supply, your abundance, but you leave the method, the channel, the timing entirely to the infinite. You add the words under grace, in perfect ways, which means let it come in the best way, not my way. And this release is what unblocks everything, because the moment you stop dictating the how, the infinite is free to bring your good through whatever channel is easiest. And very often that channel is one you never would have imagined. A big happy surprise, and there is a deeper spiritual reason this works. When you cling to one specific channel, you are operating from your reasoning mind, which can only see what already exists and what it already knows. But the infinite intelligence operates beyond your reasoning mind. It can create channels that do not yet exist, arrange meetings that have not yet happened, and orchestrate events far beyond anything you could plan. Florence taught that when you demand your good come a specific way, you drag the whole process down to the level of your limited human planning. But when you release the how, you lift it up to the level of infinite intelligence, which has resources and pathways your mind cannot even conceive of. This is why the how must be surrendered, not because planning is bad, but because your plan is always smaller than what the infinite can do, exceeding abundantly above all you ask or think. So you hold the vision of your good clearly, and you let go of the mechanism completely, trusting that a greater intelligence is arranging channels you cannot see, and it is precisely in that surrendered space that the big happy surprises are born. The third key is the exact words that open you to these surprises, because the language you use either opens you or closes you. When you say, "I do not know how I will ever manage," you close the door. When you say, "My good can only come from my job," you close the door. But Florence gave us words that fling every door open. You say, "Big happy surprises now come to me under grace." In perfect ways, you say, "My supply comes from God, and unexpected good now reaches me from expected and unexpected channels," you say. "I expect the unexpected. My glorious good now comes to pass." Notice what these words do. They name no single source. They leave the channel wide open. They actually invite surprise. They tell the subconscious and the infinite, "I am open. Bring my good however is best." And by speaking this way, again and again, you train yourself out of the narrow demand for one source and into the wide open expectancy that lets surprises flow. And let me explain why the word unexpected is so important to include. Because most affirmations people use are actually too narrow. They say, "Bring me this exact thing in this exact way," and they accidentally close off every other possibility. But when you deliberately include the words unexpected ways, from expected and unexpected channels, you are consciously leaving the door open for surprise. You are telling the infinite, "I am not going to limit you. Bring my good however serves best." And there is something freeing about this, because it lifts the burden of figuring everything out off your shoulders. You no longer have to know the how, You just have to stay open and expectant. Florence taught that this openness is a form of trust, and trust is what allows the infinite to work. So make your words wide, make them open, invite the unexpected explicitly, and watch how your good starts arriving through doors you never would have thought to knock on. The Euro thoughted the knock on. The fourth key is why expectancy is the magnet that pulls surprises to you. Because Florence taught the law of expectancy, that whatever you expect with faith, you tend to receive, and this is the secret ingredient most people miss. It is not enough to speak the words. You must genuinely expect your good to arrive. You must live in a state of happy anticipation, like a child who knows a gift is coming. Florence taught that you should look with wonder at that which is before you, meaning you move through your days actually expecting to be surprised by good. You wake up wondering what wonderful thing might happen today. You open your email expecting good news. You answer the phone expecting a blessing. This expectant state is magnetic. It draws the surprises to you, because expectancy is faith in action, and faith is what moves the infinite. The person who expects nothing receives nothing, but the person who lives in joyful expectancy, who genuinely believes big happy surprises are on the way, becomes a magnet that pulls them in from every direction. And let me show you the difference this makes in daily life. Two people can speak the exact same affirmation, but one speaks it and then spends the day in worry and doubt, secretly expecting nothing to change, while the other speaks it and then moves through the day in genuine happy anticipation, actually expecting wonderful things. And it is the second person whose life fills with surprises, because expectancy is not a passive hope, it is an active magnetic force. When you truly expect good, you carry yourself differently. You notice opportunities the worried person walks right past. You say yes to the invitation. You follow the hunch. You answer with warmth. And all of these open you further to the good that is trying to arrive. Florence taught that faith is expectancy, that to have faith is simply to expect your good with certainty. So cultivating expectancy is cultivating faith, and faith is the force that moves mountains and opens channels. The person who lives expecting big, happy surprises is living in a state of active faith, and that state is irresistibly magnetic to the very surprises they are expecting. The fifth key is the daily practice of living in expectancy, and it is a way of moving through your entire day. In the morning, you set the expectation, you speak your affirmation, and you declare, "Today I expect big happy surprises. Something wonderful is coming to me today." Through the day, you hold that expectant wonder. Every time you catch yourself falling into worry or into the narrow demand that your good come from one place, you stop and you reopen. You remind yourself that your good can come from anywhere, and you return to happy anticipation. You look with wonder. You stay curious about how your good will show up. At night, as you drift towards sleep, you give thanks that your surprises are on the way, and you fall asleep in the feeling of expectant joy. This daily rhythm of expectancy keeps every channel open, keeps you magnetic, and keeps you in the state where surprises can find you. And let me say why the morning is so important for this practice. Because the state you wake into tends to set the tone for your entire day. If you wake into worry and immediately start bracing for problems, you spend the day closed and tense, and surprises cannot reach you. But if you wake and deliberately set the expectation of good, if the first thing you do is declare that something wonderful is coming today, you move through the whole day open and magnetic. And Florence taught that this expectant wonder is like leaving your door unlocked and a light on for your good. It is an invitation that stays open all day long. And the beautiful thing about this practice is that it makes life genuinely more joyful, because whether or not a surprise arrives on any given day, you get to spend that day in happy anticipation instead of dread. And that joyful, open state is not only more pleasant, it is the exact state that draws the surprises in. So you win either way, you feel better, and you become more magnetic, both at the same time. The sixth key is why gratitude, before the surprise arrives, brings it faster. Because this is the deepest secret of all. Florence taught that you must give thanks for your good before you see it. That the highest form of faith is to be grateful for what has not yet appeared. When you give thanks in advance, you are declaring with complete certainty that your good is already yours, already on its way, and this certainty is what calls it into form. Most people wait to feel grateful until after the good arrives, but Florence taught the reverse. You give thanks now. Before there is any sign, you say thank you for the big happy surprises that are already on their way to me. You feel the gratitude as though the surprise has already come, and this grateful expectancy is the most powerful magnetic state there is. It combines faith, expectancy, and thanksgiving into one, and it pulls your good toward you with tremendous speed. Gratitude before the evidence is the signature of one who truly believes, and the infinite always responds to that belief. And I want to make sure you understand how powerful this really is, because giving thanks before the evidence flips the entire ordinary way of living. Most people live in a kind of bargain with life. They say, "Show me the good, and then I will be grateful." But this keeps them forever waiting, forever in a state of lack, because they are always looking at what has not yet arrived. Florence taught the complete reversal. She taught that you give thanks first, you rejoice first, you live in the gratitude of the answered prayer before there is a single sign of it. And this is not pretending, it is the deepest form of faith, because you only thank someone in advance when you are absolutely certain they will deliver. So when you give thanks for your big happy surprises before they arrive, you are declaring total certainty, and the infinite, which always responds to your inner state, moves to match that certainty with manifestation. Gratitude in advance says it is done, and the moment your inner world says it is done, the outer world begins to arrange itself to agree. This is why the grateful, expectant person seems to live a charmed life. They are constantly declaring, through their gratitude, that their good is certain, and life keeps proving them right. Here is the whole picture. Your good is on its way to you right now, and it is coming from a direction you would never expect. It works because the infinite has 1,000 channels, and the moment you stop demanding your good come from one place, you open them all. You speak the words that invite surprise. You live in joyful expectancy, looking with wonder, and you give thanks before the good even arrives. And by doing this, you become a magnet for big happy surprises. Unexpected good, flowing to you from everywhere. Under grace, in perfect ways, every part of this is available to you, starting tonight. And remember, if you want to go deeper into these teachings, my second channel, Divine Manifestation, is where the most powerful work lives. The link is in the description and the comments. Go there, subscribe to Divine Manifestation, and let this become the turning point. So speak the affirmation with me one final time before you go. Big happy surprises now come to me under grace. My good arrives in unexpected ways. My word is my wand. Hold that, and from this moment on, stop demanding your good come from the one place you can see. Open to all of it, expect the unexpected, and watch the surprises begin to arrive.